What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome back if you've been following the journey. And if you are new here, welcome in. I had a few questions about my Quantower setup, so I'm going to go ahead and do a quick video on it. Hopefully, this helps. And if you have any questions, make sure you drop them down in the comments. Hey guys, so this is the price of Quantower for monthly. It's $70, and for 3 months, it's $189. For 6 months, it's $336. Annually, it's $588. This is actually what I get. Should really just buy a lifetime at this point. It's $1,609 for a lifetime. So go ahead, select which one best fits you, and you can go ahead and grab any one of these. However, if you just want to go ahead and do the free trial, there is a 7-day full feature trial period. So you can register for a trial here if you don't feel like going ahead and actually paying for it right now just to test it out. After you take a look at my video, feel free to go ahead and use a free trial. I'm going to walk you through how to download Quantower. That's what I particularly use for trading features. So here you have it. This is just quantower.com. So go ahead, you click download. Once you click download, you're going to go ahead and click the downloadable link. Once you go ahead and do that, then you should be able to get it onto your computer. If it doesn't auto-populate, on the top right hand of your screen, if you go ahead and click the button where all your downloads are, you should be able to go ahead and click on that and it should populate for you or have the option to extract. And here you go, you'll be able to go ahead and extract it, hit extract, and it's just going to extract the files and eventually it's going to be able to pop up for you. All your connections are going to be listed here. So what you would do is click on one of these connections. So because I already have it set up, it's going to populate. And once it populates, it's then going to give me that start right here. However, if it's not start for you, all you have to do is go ahead and click this plus button and add your connection manually. What you would do is go ahead and start here. Go ahead and put your username, your password, and then hit connect. For me, because I already have an Earn to Trade connection, I'm just going to go ahead do this. Of course, I will click on Rhythmic Paper Trade in Chicago area and hit connect. And once I hit connect, it's going to go ahead and connect, and then my charts will then populate. All right, guys, so you're pretty much going to see something like this. So now that you've downloaded Quantower, you've extracted the file, now this is up. What you would then do is go over here. We click on this, and you would go to chart. Once the chart pulls up, let me bring this on over. So ultimately, this is what we're aiming for. This is what my 3 screens binded into one would look like. So we'll have 3 separate screens we'll work on, and we'll bind them all into one to end up looking like this. And this is what I use on a day-to-day for my big Samsung screen that I have at the top, in addition to my one main screen that I have on my laptop right below it. All right, so I just showed you a picture of what my entire screen looks like. That's on my main Samsung screen. But this right here is just what my top screen middle looks like, where I go ahead and look at all of my trades. I'm doing this from a wide screen. So for me, I'm trying to ensure that you all can see it. So I'm not making it really big. But you would go here on this chart, and if I were you, I would do one chart at a time. I show you how my chart looks. So I would do one chart at a time. And if you don't want VWAP, you can go ahead and take it off. I know for me, I like having VWAP. And let's see here. So if you want time histogram, you would enable that, which is what sometimes I use. I don't use it all that often. For the middle of my chart, I do go ahead and use time statistics. And the reason why I do this is because it helps me pay more attention to what's going on in the market, right? Based on the volume, whether it be sell volume, buy volume, as well as the delta. So sometimes I have it on, sometimes I don't. It's just more or less of a preference thing. But if you want that, you can go ahead and click time statistics, and you can get that. It'll show up at the bottom of your screen. All right. So I would go ahead and right click and on your mouse and duplicate your panels. So then you would have 1, 2. You can go ahead and drag this over, right? You go ahead and drag it over, and if you want, you can start with 2. For me, I did start with 3, so I'm going to do it exactly how I did mine. You just got to have some patience with this, okay? I want to ensure that you all can see it. So I'm probably going to have to make my screen wider a bit. For now, let's just stick to 2 so that way you all can actually see what's on the chart. So here, now that you've duplicated it, you can go ahead and do NQ. I trade NQ. Probably should have done this one. I trade NQ. So I will go ahead and do it like that. But if you trade any other thing, if you trade ES, you can go ahead and do that. If you trade MNQ, you can go ahead and hit MNQ right here. Let's say you're like, hey, you know what? Actually trade YM, you can go ahead. I just always do front run so that way it just updates every time I don't have to focus on what calendar spread it's on. But there you have it. This is YM. So this is also how I keep track of all of my time frames. So this would actually be I normally leave it on 15 minutes, but if I want 5 minutes for this one, this is what I would click on. I would just hit 5 minute, apply, it would give me the 5 minute. And then it also breaks it down even further. You can actually see the numbers very clearly on here. This one, I'll do it on here so you can see it. Normally it's on my left side. I do go ahead and put an indicator. So, all right, so now that all your charts are up and you have these particular charts. So you have, this is how my chart is up. I have my main chart where, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and change this. I have my main chart here. Then I have my middle chart. This is essentially where I leave it on 15 minutes. I normally keep this at a year. This is where I put my symbol, which I stick to NQ. Sometimes I do go back and forth with NQ. And here is where I would actually do my TPO chart. So let's do this right here. I am going to do my TPO chart. I'm just going to do a new one, X this one out. So this is going to be my TPO chart. So guys, when I record, I got to get a new computer because when I record, this goes so slow. Okay, here we go. So you just zoom in and you can split it. I normally split mine so that way I can see the correlation. And I also go ahead and put in my POC. I can break down TPO in a whole other video on, but for right now, this is my TPO chart. I'll get the POC. I do trade to POC levels, so that's why I put the POC on all of my TPO charts. So as you can see, it came down here, tap this POC, and it's going up. More than likely, would reach up here, but we also have to take into consideration where previous settlement is, and it's about right here. So this is actually on another symbol, so I'm going to go ahead and put on NQ. Perfect. So this is a way better indication. All right, so this is split. This is for today. That will be for yesterday's session. This is for today's session. So we are in the continuation of today's session. As you can see, it is 7 p.m. Market closed at 4:30. Market closed at 4, but had like a little lag time, so it gets like 4:35, and then it takes a break and it opens at 6. So, all right, guys. So here you have my left chart, and here you have my middle chart. That's how my middle chart would normally look. And also here you have my TPO chart, right? So I am going to clean this up. So this is, if you right click on this and you drag it, it essentially gives you a quick ruler so you can see how much money, how many ticks, the time it takes to reach a level, things like that. Now, if you want to go ahead and adjust this, what you would do, you would actually go ahead to settings, and in settings, you would click on quick ruler, and you can have it to where you do your mouse right, mouse in the middle, whichever one you want to click. I have mouse right, and just click the right on my mouse, and all this stuff pops up. You can also change the colors. I just leave this bright yellow, and you can adjust what you want to see. So if you don't want to see price related to ticks, you can change that. If you don't want to see the time it takes, you can change that. I want to see the money, the quantity, all that stuff. So I leave all of that like that. So if you want yours just like mine, you can go ahead and do that. Because my left chart normally does not look like this. So I'm going to cluster. I would turn off all the imbalances and I would just have a clean chart, like pretty much a naked chart. I would go ahead and have my previous high, the high, previous settlement, the low, and previous low. So these are the indicators I'm looking for. And as you can see, price normally comes in taps or close to those indicators. So that's what I would pay attention to, especially for going into my trading day. In the recap of today, let's see. In the recap of today, we did have price come to right here, which was the previous settlement of yesterday. Okay, so that's the goal I was looking for. I got into the market pretty late, wanted to go ahead and have track price into the previous settlement. I was in a drawdown for a little bit, was able to get out, get back in, and get that last push up, and that's how I ended up making my $519 for the day, which my base hit that I wanted to make today was only $500. So this right here is how my chart would end up. Once again, I go to cluster, I just take off all the imbalances, I then go to candle. If you don't like the candle and you want to have a bar instead, you can do that. If you want to go ahead and have the bar high, low, close, the bar high, whatever you want, you can go ahead and fix it. I'm just showing you what I did to make my chart look very clean. You can even have a line chart, a dotted line chart. If you want to go ahead and do an area chart, I mean, kudos to you. And then Quantower have their own little thingamajiggy. For me, it's a lot cleaner just using a regular candle chart. So that's what I do on this one. And then on my middle one, as I showed you guys, I go ahead and utilize VWAP. Oh, one more thing before I forget. I do indicators on this one. I just do the Williams, well, sure, like the Williams R. This is running so slow. Okay, here we go. So I do the Williams R, and I normally have it like this where I can see it. And I normally stay on 15, but this chart allows me to go back and forth between any of these time frames. Most I'll go to is a day. I don't really look at wrinkles at all, but I'll go to like a day. Just depends on how I'm feeling. But I normally try to do a top-down analysis and go from really 30 down to 1. And if I'm still having, just depends on how the market is moving, I'll go all the way up to a day, right? But my sweet spot is 15, 5, and that's it. I don't even go to 1 majority of the days. I just stay on 15 and 5. If I'm trying to get a really good entry, I'll go to the 5 and say, okay, this is correlating. Middle chart right here. Here you have it. Expectation is that this would possibly come back up to VWAP. Once again, it's nighttime. I don't even try to entertain night trading. But expectations that it would possibly come back up to VWAP, and it also correlates with this VWAP right here, which is pretty close to the low. So I would just, honestly, I wouldn't even be trading right now. I would just let this thing go ahead and make its move until I find a good trade that I want to get into. But the middle chart is mainly just see what's going on, always on 15. 15-minute is what I normally stick to. It's just that when I have the ability to go ahead and take a closer look at a trade, I love looking at the 5-minute, and especially for my top down analysis. So this chart right here never comes off of the 15. I never change this particular time frame, and I don't change the VWAPs. I change nothing. This is my set chart, bar none, unless something changes with my setup, with my strategy. This does not change. I can go back and forth on my time frame here and do what I need to do to see, get a clearer picture or further out picture, but this chart right here never changes. Now for my, let me close this out. For my TPO, I really look at my TPO for it's missing something. And guys, if you ever want to refresh, you just go to reload history server. There you go, and it'll just pop up the way it should. But I normally look at my TPO, and what I look for are the levels. And another thing with the TPO, I don't have it here, but let's see. There we go. My volume analysis. I always look at the volumes that I'm seeing to the right, okay? So this lets me know that this is more or less a great area of interest. So if this barely has volume, I have seen it where it will come all the way down and break through and create some volume here. However, for me, I normally look at what's here, and when it's getting close, if I have a target, my target will be here. I won't have my target all the way. I'm not gonna be reading. I won't have my target all the way down here. But if I expect this to go back up here, it's already, and the letters from, I utilize them. If it's the start of a new letter, I try to, if it's the direction isn't clear, I just try to stay out, right? But S, T has gone down. We have 8 minutes left on this. It's not telling me it's going to come back up here. If I see it's making its way up, then I want to get it for a buy. But of course, the Williams R have to go ahead and be another confluence for me. I also have to go ahead and see that this is either probably trying to get back to the VWAP, the numbers. Like, I have to see a few things. You can also go ahead and put your time history. I normally don't use this. I normally use time statistics. So time statistics also have to go ahead and coincide. So once all these are in the same direction, they're pretty much giving me the same indicator, then I'm going to go in for that buy or that sell. I think that's it, guys. I would say just play around with it. This is my actual setup. This is what I trade every day. I would say play around with Quantower. There's so many cool features here. You have so many different various templates. You have, for one, templates, you have analytics. You have different trading. You can do, copy trade. So when it comes to the copy trader, I only have one connection right now. Hopefully this can work. Okay, so I'm going to create a new one. Okay, I think I have all my trades locked for the day. That's why that popped up. But I'll just leave it as trade bot. So then you have the parent connection, earn a trade, and you can do the current path. I just got 50K on this. That's what I'm trading. So it'll be 500 and some change today. Also made, I think, 600 and some change in the simulator. So go ahead and leave this like this parent connection, and then I would do a child connection, which would then have to be the simulator. Okay, so you have one account for the parent, the other for the child connection. You hit save. Let's put E2T. I have to trade with BB. Let's see if this helps. Perfect. So here you have it. EDT. I would hit run. Once I hit run, then you would see that both of them would be essentially copying. Well, the child connection would be copying the parent connection. In terms of the setup, so this is essentially what I have, and I would move it down here, which I'll go ahead and do another screenshot of that. Oh yeah, I'll show my main screen that I utilize, and we go from there. I also have positions. I'm able to move this around because this stays on my screen. So even if I maximize this, this is going to stay on my screen. One more thing, the bind, right? So in order to bind this, what I would do, I would go ahead and I would create bind. And once I do that, I would click. If I have any space and overlap or anything, it's gonna let me know, right? And once it lets me know that, then I have to go ahead and close out the bind. If there's an error or anything, it's gonna let me know, so you won't be able to go ahead and create the bind. So this is like an overlap. So I'm not sure if you can hear that sound, but it's not gonna do that, right? So then you're just gonna hit create bind. It's gonna pop up like a brand new screen, and then yeah, like everything is gonna be bind together. So you can close this out. When you close it out, everything will just kind of like move. So there won't be any gray space or anything like that. So if you need to go ahead and do this, you can. And if you need to unbind it for any reason, what you can do is go ahead and unbind it. So you would hit this hamburger next to bind, and you would hit unbind, and now it's unbind. So you can go ahead and delete this. For example, if I wanted to go ahead and put this TPO into here, I can also merge it. So that way, if I only, let's say you have a laptop and you need to have multiple tabs, I can put all of these into one, right? So now I have this, my middle screen. I have it here. I have it into one. You never see your screen do this kind of stuff. It's just doing too much. Just go ahead and do that. It's just zoomed in way too much. Zoom out. There we go. And now you have a TPO chart here as well. You also have your naked chart, I like to call it. What I think it's called. Yeah, so you have all of my 3 screens into one. Your naked chart with your Williams R at the bottom, your middle chart that stays on a 15-minute, and you just watch it to have overall market, good sentiment of where the market is going, give you a good overall picture on 15-minute, and then you also have your TPO chart. All right, that's it, guys. I'll probably do an addition to this and show you my bottom chart because I don't have my bottom chart here. And what you want to do once you bind everything, you want to go ahead and save your template. And once you save your template, you want to go ahead and start it. So once you do that, you're able to essentially go back and just click on it, and you have no worries about if your computer shuts down or anything like that. Like, you have everything right there. I also have a main laptop screen. I guess I could do the main laptop screen from here as well. All right, so this is my main laptop screen that would normally be at the bottom. Here you see I have my copy trading. I also have all my positions. So this position, tab right here on my copy trading, all of that is actually at the bottom screen on my laptop. And then this position that I can move around, that stays at the top, so that way I can always see when I'm in a position, right? And then I also have the balance, my accounts, the balance, open profit, things like that. So the reason why I do that is just ensure that I have visibility on all of my accounts, especially when I'm in a trade. This bottom screen, it stays on this particular format. Cluster is enabled on here. I also have VWAP on here. But that's about it. It just pretty much mirrors the middle 15-minute screen, and that one is pretty much off of ES. That's all I do. I only do ES on there. And yeah. So that's it, guys. Thank you.